The old-fashioned website is officially dead. Okay, I'm being a little bit dramatic, but the traditional brochure website that we have all grown to both love and hate is finally on its way out. But I don't want you to worry because something even better is taking its place. So in this video, I'm going to take you through everything that is going on, what's happening in the world of AI, how it applies to the website, what I think is going to replace it, and most importantly, how you can use this in your business to get ahead of the competition and make your business more profitable. But before we get into all of that, my name is Chris. I have been in the marketing industry for about 20 years now, and in the tech space as well. I own an agency here in Atlanta, as well as a company called Strictly, which is a software company. I've worked with hundreds of businesses at this point, been the fractional chief marketing officer for about a dozen of those. And so I do have quite a bit of experience in the marketing industry, especially in user experience and conversion rate optimization. So if you like this video, if you get value out of it, could you please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all of that crap that YouTubers typically ask their viewers to do. And then also a little side note, I'm going to put my newsletter in the description. I update that a bit more frequently. I don't always have time to create videos, so I'm going to continue to update that. And we're going to talk about everything business on this channel and on the newsletter. That includes interesting business models, new business ideas, and my favorite topic, health and wellness for entrepreneurs, physical, spiritual, mental health. That is notoriously overlooked for entrepreneurs. So we're going to get into literally everything. But anyways, thank God, now that is over with. Let's get into it. So I think we can all agree that traditional websites are kind of lame, especially if you have a ton of content. So if you have a ton of services, a ton of blog articles, or just a bunch of different pages, asking your visitors to search through all of that and to go through all of your service pages, reading through, 500, 1,000 words of content on every single one of those, you're really asking a lot of them. And on top of that, websites have been pretty much the same for the last 30 years. I mean, sure, there's been small changes, JavaScript, React, mostly design and user experience related, but the core capability of it, at the heart of it, it still is essentially just a digitized brochure, and that has been true for about 30 years. Even e-commerce. I was building e-commerce when I was like 13 years old, so it really has not changed much at all aside from some design changes and some of the other things I mentioned. And since every other part of our lives is being totally obliterated by AI, I figured, hey, why not websites too? Am I right? If there's any one thing my experience in marketing has told me, it is that you only have so much time to capture your users' attention. They don't want to hunt for answers, and people's attention spans are notoriously short. People do not want to go hunting through your website for answers. They just want answers, and they want them now. So the more complex your website is, the more frustrated your users may get, and the longer they have to search to find what they're looking for, the higher the risk that they end up getting distracted and going somewhere else. Side note, this is why companies typically have to spend a lot of money on retargeting, is because they don't typically convert someone the first time they visit the website. Most people visit the website, phone rings, pop-up, whatever, notification, they get distracted, and then they leave and they forget all about you. And so you retarget them to make sure that they don't forget you. But to illustrate my point, I'm going to show you two user journeys, and I want you to tell me which one you think is better. So pretend that I just got into a car accident. I didn't actually, but pretend I did. And I have a bunch of neck pain. And so I go to the Google web and I type in chiropractor near me. And I click on the first results like I always do. And then I look to see, can they help me with neck pain? And I go through each of their services one at a time. After scrolling through about 6 or 7, I'm like, I don't see anything specifically about neck pain. This seems like it might help, but I'm not really sure. So I eventually give up and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to call them. So I call them, I get the voicemail, nobody calls me back, and now I'm pissed. Or we have option 2, where I click on the same result, but instead there's this new interface where I can simply just talk into the phone and say, hey, what's good for neck pain? And it lists out the services that are good for neck pain, giving a personalized summary of each, explaining how the service applies for neck pain. Once it's done listing those services visually, it follows up with a message saying, would you like me to help you book an appointment? I think we all know which one is better. As I said before, people's attention spans are shrinking. That's a well-known fact at this point. People want instant, gratification. People want personalized. The more personalized you can get, the higher the likelihood that you're going to convert them into a lead or an appointment. Given the fact that we have all this technology and we have all of these capabilities, why are we still sending people to static web pages like it's 2005? So this is where conversational websites come in, and I'm going to tell you why I believe so strongly that this is the future for the vast majority of websites out there. So think of conversational websites as if a website and a chatbot had a baby that then grew up and took steroids. It replaces your boring brochure website with the more interactive and personalized experience. So how it works is it serves the website's content dynamically in a way that is designed to resonate with each specific user, selling them on the business and helping to convert them into a lead or an appointment. It can display visual components from other parts of the website. It can summarize content in different ways based on the context of the conversation, and it learns from the results so that it's always improving over time. So think of it like having a 24/7 virtual salesperson on your website giving a visual presentation that is personalized to every single user. So this has actually been proven to get not just a higher quantity of leads, but a higher quality of leads. And I can get into some of the studies in just a second. So real quick, I'm going to show you an example just so that you know I'm not making this up. So this is an example of a customer of ours. Before, a visitor would have to probably click through about 5 different service pages to find the information they're looking for, and literally nobody was using the chatbot. That's not an understatement. They were previously getting about 10 total appointment requests per month, and only one of those per month, or actually less than one of those per month, was actually coming through the chatbot. But once we switched to a conversational website, this business went from getting only 10 appointments per month, with less than one of those coming through the chatbot, to over 22 per month without any change in advertising budget. And about 10, or roughly half, was coming through the conversational interface rather than through a traditional contact form. So the key when building a conversational website is design and user experience and performance. You want to make sure you are only adding to the user experience. You are only enhancing it. You don't want to take away anything. So load times should only go down. It shouldn't go up. You should only be increasing speed, not decreasing speed. You should only be reducing friction for the user, not adding. In order to avoid adding friction or slowing it down, we have had to make some changes. We've implemented suggested reply buttons so that for commonly asked questions, they can simply click a button and ask a question. We've also implemented voice to text so that people can simply talk into the phone rather than having to type it out. We've also been making changes to improve SEO and other things. Some businesses have seen the total leads or appointments that come through their website double and even triple. So if you look at our studies of everybody that we've implemented this for, which is dozens of people, almost 100 now actually, the average improvement in conversion rates is roughly 112%. And some people get up to 283%, which is pretty freaking incredible. There's no change in ad strategy, no change in marketing budget. This is just by changing to a conversational website. So as I said, I am 100% convinced that the conversational website is going to be the future for the vast majority of businesses out there. Even e-commerce. I mean, imagine if I could upload a picture, just snap a picture of this outfit, upload it to an e-commerce website that sells shoes, and just say, hey, what do you got in size 10 that goes well with this outfit? And it shows me size 10 shoes that go well with this outfit. Or imagine I'm going up to an IV clinic and I have a common cold, and I can just type in, what do you got for a common cold? And it shows me IVs that are good for the common cold. I mean, the possibilities here are literally endless. Another thing we just added was the ability for the AI to know what page you're on and access the content on that page. And what this does is it makes the blog articles on your website, all of the content on your website, completely interactive so people can ask follow-up questions, ask to summarize it. And so it makes your content more interactive. It makes it more likely that people will be educated, and it increases the amount of time that people spend on your page, which is a huge ranking factor for SEO. So say you're sold. You want to make your website conversational. You know you want it to be personalized, dynamic, interactive, and all of that. What are your options? Well, right now in 2025, if you want to make your website into a conversational website, you have 3 options. Option number 1, shocker, you can hire my company at Strictly. This is what we do. This is what we specialize in. We have a whole boilerplate, a whole framework for building conversational websites. And because of this, we can do it at a pretty affordable rate. So to give you some idea, relatively simple conversational websites that have under 10 pages usually start at around $1,800, and then the monthly fee starts at about $95 a month. It can go up from there depending on complexity, if you need e-commerce, etc. But overall, in the grand scheme of things, it is pretty inexpensive when you consider what you're getting and the AI flows, and that the monthly fee includes everything, the website, the AI, everything. Option number 2 would be to code it yourself. Now, if you're not that great at coding, you could use a no-code tool that uses AI to basically code it for you. For this, I recommend Replit. That's my favorite, but then there's also Emergent and Lovable and some other tools like that. We actually do have a boilerplate that we're going to be releasing to the public relatively soon, hopefully in the next few months. So if you are interested in that, I'd suggest subscribing to my newsletter, because we are going to be sending that out in a few months. If you don't want to be bothered with that, then option number 3 is coming soon. Hopefully in the next 2 months, but definitely by the end of the year. It's going to be our conversational website builder software. So this is a software as a service model. Monthly fee is exactly the same. It's $95 a month. And once this is released, it's going to have an AI agent that basically helps you build your own conversational website. And so in this case, you don't have to pay the upfront setup fee. All you have to do is pay for the monthly fee. And if you're an agency or a reseller, you can buy in bulk, and we are going to have that ability. Side note, we actually are doing pre-orders, so you can sign up for my newsletter if you're interested in that. Pre-orders are $195 a year instead of the $950 a year or $95 a month. This is a great option for DIYers, and perfect if you are not tech savvy enough to code or vibe code, but you also don't mind getting your hands a little bit dirty. But anyways, that is all I got for today, guys. If you want to see more content like this, that's amazing. You can hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the newsletter, all of that. Again, we are going to be covering all things business, cool business models, new business ideas. We are super excited to cover that. We will be posting again soon. Thank you so much for watching. I love each and every one of you, and have a fantastic day.